If you entered the United States on parole through programs like CHNV, Uniting for Ukraine, Family Reunification Parole, or CBP One, then this video is not something you can afford to skip. Right now, in 2026, people are being arrested by ICE based on errors, official errors, and some of them already had legal parole status when it happened. The Department of Justice itself has admitted that wrong information was used to justify courthouse arrests. And a separate case shows that a man was detained for days because of a rookie ICE agent's paperwork mistake. This is not about rumors. This is documented, and if you hold parole status, you need to understand what this means for you. Today. Welcome back to Immigration Updates Today. I am glad you are here because what we are covering today is serious, and it is developing right now. This week, we are breaking down two major incidents involving ICE arrest errors and what they mean for hundreds of thousands of parole holders currently living in the United States. We will explain what happened, why it matters, who is most at risk, and most importantly, what you should do to protect yourself and your family. Let us get into it. The DOJ admitted it used wrong information to defend ICE arrests. This is where we start, because this is the most significant admission in recent months. In late March 2026, Justice Department lawyers admitted in a letter to a federal judge in New York City that they had used erroneous information when defending ICE arrests at immigration courthouses. Here is what that means in plain language. ICE was arresting people at immigration courts. People who were showing up to attend their own hearings, some of them with pending applications, some with active parole, were being arrested right there at the courthouse door. The DOJ conceded that a 2025 ICE memo that was cited in court to defend those arrests does not actually apply to immigration courts. So, the legal justification that was being used in federal court, the argument that said ICE had the authority to do this, was based on a memo that did not even cover immigration courts. That is a serious error. The ACLU of New York, which represents the plaintiffs in this case, said the implications of this development are far-reaching and that for months, the government used this guidance to arrest both legal and undocumented immigrants, often leading to detention in facilities hundreds of miles away. Think about that. People were picked up, taken far from their homes, far from their lawyers, far from their families, based on information that was wrong. The judge in the case had not yet replied to the latest development, and it remains unclear how the admission will impact the immigrants who were detained under this policy, many of whom have likely already been deported. This matters deeply for parole holders. Many people with active parole were attending their immigration court dates in good faith, trying to do everything right, and they were still arrested. The rookie ICE agent paperwork error case. The second incident adds another layer of concern. Reports emerged in March 2026 about a case involving a rookie ICE agent whose paperwork error led to a man being detained for days. While some specific details of the individual case remain under review, the broader pattern it reveals has drawn serious attention from lawyers, lawmakers, and immigrant families. The new officer had completed a basic training program that provided only a third of the hours once dedicated to teaching recruits how to fill out a key form. Let that sink in. A form that could determine whether someone gets detained or goes home that night, and the officer filling it out had received only 1/3 of the standard training for completing it. Questions about field readiness intensified in January 2026 when reports revealed that an AI recruitment tool had misclassified some recruits who lacked prior law enforcement experience. Those recruits bypassed the standard 8-week ICE Academy training and went directly to field offices with minimal on-site preparation. The skip training covered subjects including the Fourth Amendment, as well as enforcement-related topics that shape how officers conduct stops, handle paperwork, and make detention decisions. This is not just one incident. This is a training problem. And when training is cut short, errors happen. When errors happen in immigration enforcement, real people lose their freedom, sometimes for days, sometimes longer. Congressional concern over this issue has grown. In January 2026, a senator sent a letter to the Secretary of Homeland Security referencing concerns about how warrants are handled and how enforcement actions are documented, pointing to the risk that procedural lapses in paperwork can carry serious consequences when officers act on removal authority. Who is most at risk? Parole holders under pressure. Now let us talk about who is most vulnerable right now, because this affects a very large community. If you entered the United States on parole and that parole status has expired or the government has ended the parole program, you are at high risk of arrest. The most common examples are people who entered through the Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelan process, known as CHNV, Uniting for Ukraine, and the CBP One program. The government also announced that it is ending several family reunification parole programs for people from Colombia, Cuba, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Haiti, and Honduras. The percent of people arrested by ICE who had no criminal record rose from 6% in January 2025 to 41% by December of that year. This means that having a clean record is no longer a guarantee of safety from arrest. ICE is also arresting and detaining people even if they have submitted an application for immigration status, including asylum applications and work permit renewals. So even if you filed your paperwork, even if you are waiting on a decision, you could still be at risk. The bigger picture. Detention is expanding. It is important you understand the scale of what is happening right now, so you can make informed decisions. The number of people held in ICE detention rose nearly 75% in 2025, climbing from roughly 40,000 at the start of the year to 66,000 by December, the highest level ever recorded. By November 2025, for every person released from ICE detention, more than 14 were deported directly from custody, compared to an approximately 1 to 2 ratio from a year earlier. This means getting out after being detained has become significantly harder. The system is moving faster, with fewer releases. Despite the DOJ admitting its error in court, the Department of Homeland Security confirmed there will be no change in policy, and ICE will continue making arrests at immigration court. That is the reality right now. The error was admitted, but enforcement has not stopped. Court battles offering some protection. There is ongoing legal action that may protect some parole holders, and you should be aware of it. On January 24, 2026, a federal judge blocked the government's termination of Family Reunification Program grants of parole nationwide while litigation continues. This means that family reunification parole beneficiaries and their related work authorization remain valid through their original expiration dates until further notice. If you arrived through a parole program and have applied to USCIS for an immigration benefit, you may be able to continue pursuing that immigration relief. This is important. Legal cases are still ongoing. Court orders have paused some terminations, but these situations change quickly, sometimes week to week. First, carry your documents at all times. Keep a copy of your Form I-94, your employment authorization card, any USCIS notices, and proof of any pending applications. If you are stopped, having documentation on hand matters. Second, if you have a pending application with USCIS for asylum, adjustment of status, work permit renewal, do not miss any deadlines. File on time, keep copies of everything, and get proof that USCIS received your application. Third, do not skip your immigration court dates. Even with the risk of courthouse arrests, missing a court hearing can result in an automatic order of removal against you. Speak with an immigration attorney before attending, so you understand your options. Fourth, know your rights if stopped. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to answer questions about your immigration status. You should not sign any documents without consulting a lawyer first. Fifth, if someone in your family is detained, write down the arrest location, the date, any officer names or badge details, and any A number or form number immediately. Small paperwork details can be critical if a lawyer needs to challenge an identity or warrant error. Sixth, consult an immigration attorney as soon as possible. With policies changing this quickly, personalized legal advice is more valuable than ever. Many nonprofit immigration legal organizations offer free or low-cost consultations. Let me quickly summarize what we covered today. 1. The Department of Justice admitted it used wrong information to defend ICE courthouse arrests in 2026. People with parole were detained based on an error. 2. A case involving a rookie ICE agent's paperwork mistake resulted in a man being wrongfully detained for days, raising serious concerns about training standards inside ICE. 3. Parole holders, especially those from CHNV, Family Reunification, Uniting for Ukraine, and CBP One programs, face a high-risk environment right now, even with pending applications. 4. ICE detention numbers are at record highs, and deportations from custody are happening faster than before. 5. Some court orders are still protecting certain parole holders, but the situation is changing. You must stay informed. 6. Carry your documents, know your rights, consult an attorney, and never miss a court date. This is exactly the kind of update that could change what you do tomorrow morning. And that is why this channel exists, to make sure you are never the last to know. If this video helped you understand what is happening, please share it with someone who holds parole status or anyone in your community who needs this information right now. Hit the like button if you found this useful. Subscribe so you never miss an update. Immigration policies are shifting fast, and we are here every week to keep you informed, prepared, and protected. Stay safe. Stay informed. We will see you in the next video.